Over the last 2 years, I've purchased and reviewed dozens of different speculative crypto miners on this channel. In this video, I'm going to share exactly how I made $7,881 with all those miners in February of 2024. This is a monthly series where I track all my income from crypto mining and running crypto nodes, minus my current expenses such as electric costs and hosting costs, so I can share with you my net income for the month. I think it's pretty obvious now we're in a new crypto bull market. Many of the projects we got into early on this channel have paid off many times over just in the past few months. And we have a lot more projects which are about to go live in the coming months. More on those later in this video. Now, most of the projects we'll be reviewing today fall within crypto's DPIN space, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. It involves using blockchain technology and token incentives to build and maintain physical infrastructure and solve real-world problems. I think DPIN will be one of the biggest winners of this bull market, so it's not something you should dismiss. Most people are not looking at Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies right now either. Check out these Google search trends for Bitcoin and crypto, which means we're still early and there's an opportunity for me and you to take advantage of that. Now, I don't share these numbers with you to brag about how much money I'm making each month. I put this analysis together to keep you up to date on the profitability of every miner I've reviewed for you on this channel. Stay tuned because I've got a refresh return on investment or ROI analysis for all these miners, which I'll share later in this video. Let's get to the numbers. It takes me a long time every month to put all this information together for you for this video. So if you find this video helpful every month, please remember to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. And if you want to get into the next crypto project before it blows up, like many have recently, consider subscribing as well. I'm always looking to bring you new reviews of new exciting and profitable crypto projects. Now, I have these projects sorted from most to least profitable. I'll give you some high-level commentary over each. Let's start at the top. My number one project, once again this month, were my Hive Mapper dash cams. I have a double dash cam set up in my car, one front facing and one side facing, and generated a total net income of $2,577 for me this month. I did drive a little bit less in February versus January. January was my first full month of a double dash cam setup. You can see my honey rewards decreased by about 5,000 tokens in February versus January. That's really the main driver of that decrease in rewards for me for the month. So another great month for my Hive Mapper dash cam. Number two are my Bitcoin miners. I have 6 of these S19 Pro 110 terahash Bitcoin miners, which I have hosted with BitCap hosting. They had total revenue from these miners of $2,044 this month, and that is paid out in Bitcoin. We have total expenses of $1,174. That's my hosting cost with BitCap, which I pay right around 8 cents per kilowatt hour electric rate for them. So generating a net income of $870 for the month. Not too bad. Now, once again, we saw an increase in Bitcoin mining difficulty this month, which is a trend we've been seeing for years now. The good thing is we saw a substantial increase in Bitcoin's price this month, up 45% versus last month. So good to see to keep these things profitable as we approach the halving. Now, one thing I was interested in calculating, which I had done last month, is what the price of Bitcoin will need to be post-halving for these miners to continue to be profitable for me. Currently, Bitcoin's price is $63,000. Now, that's today on February 29th. If you look at the current profitability of each of these devices, now this is a daily profitability, they're each generating income of $11.75 per day. If you subtract my hosting rate, we're looking at a profit per day of $5.51 per device. Now, once we get to the Bitcoin halving, that income will be cut in half per day. So we're looking like each one will be underwater currently at current prices by 37 cents per day. So we'll need a 6.2% increase in Bitcoin's price by that halving. So essentially getting Bitcoin's price up to $67,000 to keep these break even by the halving. Now, this does not account for future mining difficulty for Bitcoin or Bitcoin transaction fee changes. So really, realistically, we're going to need Bitcoin's price to be probably quite a bit higher than the $67,000 post-halving to keep these miners on and profitable. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think based on what we've seen recently for Bitcoin's price, I think we're going to see substantially higher prices in the coming months, but just my thoughts. Moving on, our number 3 project for the month are my Fry miners. I have 4 of these miners, and we saw a huge increase in the Fry token price this month, up just about 500% versus last month. They generated a total net income of $691 for me for the month. Now, if we go to my Fry tab, I have a breakdown of my daily earnings for each of these miners. I have the Bandwidth miner, Indoor Satellite miner, Decibel miner, and the Weather miner. You You can see here in column B, we did have a multiplier in fact when the FRI token price was under a cent, and it went back up above a cent on February 22nd. So that multiplier went away. So the daily earnings for each of these devices were essentially cut in half. So that's why we've got daily earnings amounts for different time periods for the month. I am planning on doing some reviews of several more FRI miners in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for those. I'll have those videos out hopefully in March. Coming number 4 is my Solana Saga phone. I had no new airdrops this month, but I wanted to calculate the value change of my cumulative airdrops to date at this point. So we go to my Solana Saga tab, you can see we essentially had a $450 increase in those prior airdrops that I have not yet sold this month. So at this point, we've generated $1,100 as compared to the $2,200 I paid for this device on eBay. So we're about halfway to break even at this point. I'll be on a lookout to see if we see any more airdrops, but I didn't see anything substantial this month worth adding. Number 5 are my pre-search nodes. You can see here in red, I've consolidated my nodes once again this month, so I'm down to 15 nodes at this point. I think at one point I had like 110 nodes, but at this point, I'm not really interested in incurring any substantial expenses for pre-search. The pre-search token has really been quite the dud so far. We're still very close to bear market lows, and at this point, I'm very skeptical if this is going to be a good long-term play for me. So I may end up selling some of my pre-search tokens. But in the meantime, I've consolidated my nodes and staked some large amounts on each node. The good thing is they are doing airdrops. I think they're trying to gain some attention to the project. So that's why the earnings are increased quite a bit this month. I've got 2 airdrops, one that came in at the end of January, and then one that came here at the end of February, each worth 6,000 pre-search tokens. So that's really driving a lot of those coins that I've earned this month and driving the substantial net income for pre-search for this month. And number 6, so I have my FLUX nodes generating $407 for the month. We saw a nice increase in the FLUX token price this month, up 79% versus last month. So really nice to see. I was getting a little bit worried about FLUX because that also was not performing very well prior to this month. So hopefully we can see some follow through there with FLUX. Number 7 are my 2 DIMO data miners generating $218 for the month. Now once again, we saw decrease in rewards week over week, averaging about a 5.2% decrease week over week for each of my devices for the month. Now that is a trend we've consistently been seeing over the last several months. It is actually starting to slow down in terms of that decrease. Now my devices are also both level 4, when you receive your device, it'll start off at level 1, so your rewards will be less than what you're seeing for my rewards here. Number 8 project is my HyFix Space Weather Station. We saw a nice increase in the Geo token price, up 30% for the month, generating $204 for the month. Now, I am using an antenna splitter to split my signal with a new project called Onakoi. I'm not seeing any substantial earnings decrease by splitting my signal. If we go over to this calc, the max earnings per day is 48 tokens, and you can see here I've essentially been pretty consistent, right around 46, 47 tokens per day. I do have some trees around my house, so I think that's really driving the decrease compared to the 48 max tokens per day. Now, I believe we do have a geode token halving coming up. I believe it's annual, so I think we'll have one here in June of 2024, so those earnings will decrease again. But really a great project I've been involved with for quite some time now, basically since the beginning. It's really been a set it and forget it project. It's one of the few miners I've never had to troubleshoot or tinker with. It's always just worked. Number 9 is my Helium Bobcat 500 miner, as mines the mobile token, generating $173 for the month. I don't have the best location for this, so I think that's really driving kind of lower earnings compared to some of the other earnings I'm hearing from people out there. But that's okay at this point. This thing is more than paid for itself, especially since I was involved early with this and got a lot of the Genesis rewards. Coming at number 10 are my ETCMC nodes. I have 4 of these that I run on my FRI miners, generating $139 for the month. Now, we did see a decrease in the rewards. They did another vote and had a decrease, planned decrease that it wasn't enacted late this month. So essentially, I believe it was a 50% decrease in rewards. So those rewards will be decreased going forward. which I think is good. It'll help to keep this project sustainable. Yeah, the earnings are down substantially. This thing was making like $2,000 a month a couple months ago, so it's disappointing that they've gone down so much. But it's also good that I was able to bring this to you guys early on this channel. So hopefully everyone who got in was able to sell some tokens and more than make back their cost at this point. Number 11 is Crank. I have my two Magix M2 Pros and two of my Bobcat Helium miners on Crank. Now, they did last month announce they were going to do some reward reductions. I didn't see a substantial decrease in my rewards this month, just a slight decrease. So it's good to see so far. Another not a great month in terms of the Crank token price, but I think this is still a good long-term potential project. Number 12, my phone farm. Nothing new here, still have 49 phones. This has also been a great set it and forget it project for me so far. I really haven't had to touch any of the phones for several months now, which is nice to see out of a crypto project. Number 13 is my Mapmetric Special Position Tracker, generating $55 for the month. I did drive quite a bit less this month, so I had token rewards of 2,120 MMAP tokens. You can see that's down substantially versus December versus January. That's just because I drove quite a bit less this month. Now, the price of the MMAP token here I'm showing is up 733%. I don't know if that's fully reliable because I'm pulling that from a website called Famous Foxes, where there's very little transaction history in terms of buying and selling between people on that website. I know they are planning on relaunching the MMAP token in the coming months, where at that point, hopefully we'll get a more reliable token price. Number 14 are my Step in NFT shoes. This is a move to earn project, made $55 for the month, and I'm actually selling those tokens. Number 15, my streamer node. I have this staked on the streamer network, generating $45 for the month. We saw a nice increase in the data token price this month. Number 16 is my Deeper Connect Mini. We did have a halving at the end of January. I ended up missing that. I didn't see that in last month's video. One subscriber reached out and reminded me of that. So I have that reflected in this month's number. So generating $26 for the month. If we move up here, we have my last at-home ASIC, my iPolo G1 Minis, which I solo mine with Grin. We found 14 blocks once again this month, so pretty unlucky month again compared to some of the better months we've had, generating $26 for the month. Number 18, we have my Helium Bobcat IoT devices. Once again, I still have two of them down, so only three are working, but really each one's only making $3 a month, so not very good for Helium IoT mining at this point. Number 19, my Exa miner, once again, still on testnet, only have 245 gigabytes of space used, so really only making a little over $1 a month with those, which is very unfortunate. Coming at number 20 are my ETCMC NFTs, which I had mentioned several months ago that I had been in the process of selling these. So this month I ended up actually selling all the rest of my NFTs. So I am completely out of this ETCMC NFT project. The reason for doing this is the profitability of these has gone way down. I did a comparison of the current month payout versus the current floor value for each of these NFTs, and each was like going for right around 100 times monthly earnings, which at this point I don't think that earnings is going to come back, at least my personal opinion. So I took my money and ran and get out of these projects while I still could, and there was still some liquidity and demand for these NFTs. So do as you wish if you still own these NFTs as well. But I personally am not going to stick around and try to hold a losing position to zero. Number 21, Onakoi. This is the project that I'm splitting my GNSS signal of my GeoNet high-fix space weather station with. I did a video on this last month. If you want to check it out, it is still on testnet, but they're planning on doing a token launch in Q1 or Q2, which will be exciting, and I'll do a video update on that once that token does launch. Number 22, Wingbits. This is flight tracking. This project's also still on testnet. They did release an initial version of their white paper this month, which I read through, but I think they still got a lot of work to do before this project goes live. So they're still TBD in terms of when that'll go live, but I'll be following along, and I'll probably do a video on that once we get closer to go live for Wingbits. Number 23, WeatherXM. They were supposed to go live with WeatherXM this month, at least that was the plan. And then they made a pretty vague announcement on their Discord near the end of February saying they were going to delay the launch because of some kind of special opportunity. But they didn't really delve into the details there. They didn't give an expected ETA on when they're going to have the token launch. So who knows at this point? I'm hoping it'll be in March at some time, but we'll have to wait and see. Once again, once WeatherXM goes live, I'll do an update video for you guys on that one. Number 24, PiFi. PiFi is also expecting the token launch here at the end of March. So we'll do a video update on PiFi when they go live as well. This one's been a long time coming. I remember I did my first PiFi video. That was pretty early on this channel. I want to say about a year and a half ago. So good to see PiFi is going towards mainnet for them. Number 25, Modus Mini, also still on testnet. They're still planning their token launch in Q1, so next month. They did make an announcement that they're changing their airdrop eligibility requirements. So as long as you order a device prior to go live, you'll be eligible for that airdrop, similar to what DIMO did. I think it's because their devices have been in high demand, so the shipping estimates have gone a little farther out. So to accommodate everyone who wants one right now, if you purchase one of their devices, you'll be eligible for that airdrop, which at this point we don't know what the value will be, but if it's anything compared to DIMO, it could be quite lucrative still. Number 26, Galaxis Engine. This is a new project. I just did a video on this last week. They're also still on testnet, which they're expecting a token launch either in Q1 or Q2. So if you want to learn more information on Galaxis, watch my video on that last week. Number 27 is my last gold shell miner, which I sent to the graveyard this month. That's my gold shell Starcoin box. They had some kind of attack on their blockchain, and they ended up suspending their blockchain in February due to that attack, and it's still not up and running again. You see there was a huge decrease in the Starcoin price, down 90% for the month. So for the time being, my gold shell Starcoin box is shut off and in my miner graveyard. And finally, we have my FutureBit Apollo Bitcoin miner, which I run a full Bitcoin node on. I run it unprofitable, but it's helping to support the Bitcoin network. We go over to this miner graveyard. You can see I've added the Starcoin box and the ETCMC NFTs to this. You can see now I have every one of my gold shell mini box miners are now in the graveyard and are unprofitable. So really my plan for these is hopefully we see the prices of these tokens that these mini box miners mine increase in the bull market, and I'll be looking to unload most, if not all, of these mini box miners in this next bull market. At least that's the hope. Hopefully we can get some value for these, but at this point I don't think it's the right time to sell them just yet. Next, let's look at the ROI analysis. First, let's start off with the assumptions I'm making so we can level set. First, miner fair market value estimates are based on recent comparable miner sales I'm seeing from eBay, or in other cases, I may be pulling the actual miner price from the manufacturer's website. These are not my purchase costs. Unfortunately, almost all cases I paid quite a bit more for all my devices. That's just the way it is with mining. Prices decline over time. Next, current month net income is my actual mining results minus my expenses. Yours obviously may be different. You have different electric or hosting rates. Next, this is a point in time. Today, February 29, 2024, miner value and income amounts will obviously vary over time as mining difficulty and prices change. And finally, this is not financial advice. Don't use this as justification to purchase a miner or a node. So I have a ranking system here in column B. Green is what I consider top tier projects. Yellow, I'm a little bit iffy. And then red projects, I would stay away from at this point. So I've got these ranked from break-even days, from the shortest break-even to the highest. I'll just give some very high-level commentary over each. Number one is HiveMapper with a current break-even days of 10 days. Now, they did stop sales of their prior dash cams on their website last week because they just released their new HiveMapper B dash cam for pre-order, which is expected for Q3 delivery. So you can't order their old dash cams anymore, unfortunately, it seems like. I don't know if they're going to bring those back or if they're exclusively switching to this new dash cam. I may do an update on this new B dash cam and a review of that once we can get hands on it, hopefully the next couple quarters. Number 2, fry miners with the break-even days of just 28 days at this point. Now, one substantial change for fry miners this month is I was able to increase our discount code. So instead of 20%, it's now 30% off any fry miner you purchase on their website. So decreasing that cost and decreasing that break-even time for you. Number 3, map metrics, which I mentioned earlier. I don't know that we can fully depend on that profitability and the map token price I had there. I have this one marked as yellow, but the good thing is it is a very low cost device to purchase. Number 4 is a big winner we've had for a substantial time now. That's the DIMO data miner. Right now, it's 8 to 12 weeks for delivery for the device. And these earnings here, you have to remember this are my earnings. So this is level 4. When you purchase your device, your earnings are going to be lower because you'll start off at level 1 and increase your levels over time. Number 5, the HiFix Space Weather Station. This is a triple band version, and right now you're expecting March delivery for this device. Like I mentioned earlier, this has been a great device for me. It's really been one of the easiest miners I've ever had to deal with. It's never gone offline, and I've never had to tinker with it, so it's nice set it and forget it miner. Number 6, my Swan Saga phone. Once again, this is distorted ROI because this is really just a change in my airdrop amounts this month. Really, we're looking at about a 50% return at this point, and who knows what the value of these future airdrops will be. Number 7, ETCMC nodes. It's currently $300 to purchase for these nodes. I'm using a computer from one of my fry miners for this. Now the profitability, like I mentioned, has gone down substantially for this. So at this point, I would probably steer clear of ETCMC. That's why I have it marked in red here. Next, Helium Bobcat 500. These are pretty pricey, coming in at $1,500. You really have to have a really good location, I think, to make these worthwhile at this point. So I would probably steer clear of this unless you've got a good spot and you got a lot of money to dish out for this. Number 9, Step in NFT shoes. I would stay away from this. It's not very lucrative. I think I only make like $1 or $2 a day for this for walking about 90 minutes every day. Number 10 are my Bitcoin miners. I have this marked as yellow just because we are approaching the halving here, which makes the profitability of this in question, and technically they will be unprofitable at current prices once we get to the halving. Number 11, Crank. I think this is still a solid project to join into just due to the low cost and the fact that you can repurpose and dual mine helium with Crank. Number 12, Deeper Connect Mini. You have to stake a substantial portion of your Deeper tokens to get some decent rewards with this, but this has been a good project for me, especially as the Deeper token has performed pretty well over the past several months. Number 13, pre-search nodes. Now this is also distorted due to me staking a large amount of coins on a small amount of nodes and due to that airdrop that I mentioned that occurred this month and last month. So the profitability of this is going to be substantially lower than shown here. Next, Phone Farm. I have this marked in green because I think this is a great way and cheap way to get into cryptocurrency mining, especially if you have some old phones laying around. Number 15, streamer nodes. This ROI here is distorted because you're just staking your coins. You can always unstake them so you don't lose out on your capital if you were to spin up a streamer node. 16, Helium Bobcat IoT mining. I would stay away from this unless you've got a good location. 17, iPolo G1 Mini. The break-even is pretty abysmal at this point for this. And then 18, Flux nodes. This is also distorted because you're just staking your coins on a node and earning additional yield by staking them on that node. Next, we have all our testnet projects. Examiner, I would stay away from. It is very expensive and it basically earns nothing. Then next we have all these different new testnet projects that are going live here in the coming months, which could be very exciting and potentially lucrative. If you want to pick up any of these miners, I've got discount codes for a lot of them, which I'll put in the description of this video below. If you choose to use them, it helps to support this channel while also saving yourself a few bucks. So thank you in advance. Thanks for watching. Bye.